Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. For those of you who are new, thanks for clicking on the video. So if you've been following me a while, you may recognize the area I'm in. I actually came here around a year and a half ago for an island camp, which I packrafted to. And on that trip, I actually said this: if I had brought a hammock, I 100% would hang a hammock between that tree and this tree and just camp right here, sitting there on that rock. Oh my gosh. I actually may come back just to do that camp. It's just an awesome spot. Well, I'm back, and that's the plan for tonight. I may not camp in that specific spot, but I do have a couple in mind that I'm going to check out, and hopefully it should be a really nice camp on the island. Unfortunately, I don't have Zoe with me today because she doesn't fit in the pack raft, and I'm actually going to be using a hammock on this camp as well, so she wouldn't be able to fit in that either. So it's going to be just me on a solo trip today. Let's get hiking. So for this trip, as I mentioned, I have the pack raft on my back because I am going to be paddling to the island. But the first part of this trip just requires me to do about 1.5 mile hike along the lake. I could probably put in a little bit early, but I'm actually kind of enjoying looking at the autumn leaves. It's actually one of the reasons I wanted to come here, because the island that I'm going to is filled with birch trees. So the hope is that there'll be a lot of really pretty colors on it. So I'm really looking forward to that. Eventually, once I get to a nice spot to put in, I'll blow up the pack raft and paddle the rest of the way to the island. Trail's gotten a little bit tight in some areas. Gosh, stunning trees around here though. Some of you have commented about the Lake District not having any of the trees. Well, the peaks don't, but there are plenty of areas with some beautiful trees and lakes, and this is one of them. That's why I've headed here today. A nice autumn day with those colors. Wow, just can't beat it. All right, found a nice flat spot that I've used before. So time to set up the pack raft. All right, we're on the water. So it's a very short paddle to the island. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna camp on this first island, but the water levels do look a little bit low. So the spot that I was kind of hoping for, that would have been kind of hanging over the water, might not actually be available. So I may end up going to the other island. I don't know yet. I'm gonna kind of circumnavigate this first island. Kind of get a lay of the land now that the water's gone down a tiny bit, and reassess what I'm gonna do. But one option was actually camping on a cliff that's over the water over here. I don't know if there's trees that'll allow me to do it, but that would be a really nice second option. We'll have to see once we get to the island. Gosh, it's beautiful. This is exactly what I was hoping for. Mixture of trees, all turning yellow. And as you can see, the island over there is decked out in its autumn colors. Really looking forward to this camp. What a nice day. As soon as I saw the forecast for the Lake District, it's calm, no winds. It's relatively warm out for this time of year, which is really nice. So as soon as I saw that forecast, I knew right away I wanted to get out here to this little island and just kind of bask in the autumn colors. Really looking forward to this. So nice to get one last pack raft in before it gets too cold. I just wish I was a little bit closer to the waterways in Scotland. There's so many cool little islands and places to explore up there. All right, I'm coming up to the island now. So that's where we came from out there. So as you can see, the water levels are quite a bit lower. I actually camped right up there in the trees, and I sat on that rock. I'd say it's almost 9-10 feet difference in water levels. So I'm gonna go ahead, park up here, and I'm gonna hike to the top of the little island and start looking for a spot. Sure is pretty quiet, which is really nice. Alright, well, here we are. The water levels are definitely low, so I won't be able to do that first spot, but let's go check it out. Well, yeah, definitely not the first spot. So when I camped here before, I had to actually duck underneath these while paddling, and the water came all the way up to this rock here. That log wasn't there. But the plan was to actually hang the hammock between here and here, which would have been just kind of over the water, and then use this as a table. It would have been a really cool spot with a view, but as you can see, the water level's all the way down there and no longer up here. Oh, so looks like I'm gonna miss my opportunity to do that. But I did bring a hammock this time, so there's gonna be plenty of options on this little island. So I'm gonna head up and maybe try seeing if I can pitch on the cliff with that overlook. But before doing that, I'm gonna go ahead and move the boat up just a bit higher. Well, not gonna lie, I am just a little bit disappointed. I was really hoping to have that nice moss-covered stone table to cook on right next to the hammock, which was just over the water. That would have been really cool, but oh well. It's okay. That's why you have backup plans. And so that's where I'm heading now. I'm gonna head up to the top of the island and see what it looks like. There are tons of places to pitch a hammock, so I am not worried about finding a spot. I just want to make sure it's the perfect spot. So, well, still see people are burning logs that are way too big. Oh boy. I'm not going to get into that again, but you know my feelings about leave no trace. All right. So this is the overlook, and it looks like there are two trees. So there's a tree there and a tree there, which I could pitch the hammock. And then I would have this view, which is pretty cool. The only downside to this, I don't know if you guys can tell on the GoPro, it's kind of small, but there is a road that actually just goes through the mountains right over there. You can kind of see some cars over there. And I can actually hear them. I'm not sure if it picks up on the audio on the camera or not, but I can hear the cars, and that's not something I'm really interested in. So I might try to look down here to see if there's a spot. But if not, here to here would be a good pitch. So that's one option. Now I'm gonna head down there to where I camped before, just to see what it looks like. You can see I'm getting the autumn colors that I was hoping for. It's actually quite a bit thinner though than I thought it would be. Looks like the leaves peak a bit earlier here because they're only just starting to peak now where I'm at down south. Oh wow. Even with the low water levels, this spot is just as magical as I remember it. Wow. With that view. Gosh, would it be weird if I just did the same spot, this time with a hammock? There's a tree there and a tree there. I could hang right here in the middle and have that fantastic view. I came to do that spot that no longer exists, but this one's still pretty perfect. So I think I might just camp here. Pretty hard to beat a view like that. I might even be able to pitch down among some of these smaller trees closer to the water. I'm very indecisive when it comes to picking the perfect spot, so I'm not gonna bore you guys with this. I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna take a look, and then get back with you guys when I find a perfect spot. It's slippy. It's slippy. Think I found my spot. Look at that view. Fantastic. What an absolutely stunning spot this is going to be. So I'll be able to pitch between this tree and one of these branches and hang the hammock right here with that view. If the hammock fails, that's going to hurt. But I was actually hanging on these trees with all my weight and it didn't budge, so I think I'm good. If I don't choose to use that one, I can choose to use one of these as well and hang it across. Either way, I think I'll be good. All right, I'm excited. So I can pull up the boat just down over there. Last time, I actually pulled the boat up here and parked it right there where the camera is. This was all underwater. My camera, my good camera, actually fell off this rock into the water. The water level was up to here. So huge decrease in height, way more than I actually estimated before, because I was able to paddle right here. This was the lake. All right, got a spot. Let's go get the boat. Just working my way around the island to go pull up the boat next to the spot. Alright, here we are. So I'm just going to be right up there tonight. This was all underwater last time. It's insane. The water was all the way up to there. I love how light this boat is. Now it's time to set up the hammock. So tonight I'm going to be using the Haven tent. I've changed it a little bit since the last time I've used it. I've updated the hanging system to a system I prefer, but this is it. It's got the hammock and the tarp already attached, so it goes up in a single pitch, and then all you have to do is put the mat in and it's done. So pretty easy. I've also got it set up so that I know exactly where the head end and the foot end are, so I can set it up just how I want it. So the head end has this little red guy on it, so that'll go on that side. That way I can look out at the water. It's gonna be so good. So because this is at an angle, I'm going to actually loop it twice around. That way it gives me just a little bit of grip, more grip, so there hopefully won't be any slippage. I can do it like a cross, and that'll help keep it from slipping. I don't mind the weight of this hammock at all. The only thing that bothers me is the pack size. The tent and tarp are fine, but the pad for it, which makes it, without a question, the most comfortable hammock I've ever used, it's still very large because it has synthetic insulation, so it's quite bulky to pack, unfortunately. But it does feel worth it because of how comfortable it is. I think I got it perfect. First try. Oh, that's awesome. So comfortable. Alright, I'm going to open all this up now so I can see the view. Alright, here we go. All set up. I got the boat over there on the pack. And this will be home for the night. Between these two trees. But look at this view from bed. Does it get much better than this? Cannot believe that view. Oh man. So you even got a nice view above me too. All those autumn colors. There's the island. Really, really cool spot. So now that I'm all set up, I'm actually quite hungry. I'm gonna go ahead and get water and probably start cooking. I might actually come over here. Looks like it might be easier to get down to get water on this side. Oh yeah, definitely. I'm thinking this mossy rock will be absolutely perfect for cooking. I have a little seat here. Alright, so tonight for dinner I'm going to be making a cassoulet. So if you've been following my channel for a while, I want to say it was maybe a couple years ago I made this, but I never actually put the recipe on my website. So that's why I'm cooking it again. So it'll force me to actually write down the recipe and put it on my website for you guys. But it's a really great meal when it starts to get chilly in the autumn months, and it's super hearty. Let's get started. So that's got to simmer for around 10 to 15 minutes. It is getting dark. I think sunset is in about 20 minutes, so not too long from now. So I'm just going to sit here, enjoy that view, and then finish up the meal. Cheers, guys. Well, I'd say this is one heck of a spot to have dinner. I don't know if you can see, but the hammock's right there, kind of nestled in the trees. I've got a view of all the mountains and all the trees in their full autumn coats. Really special place. So this is my cassoulet. If you're interested in the recipe, it'll be on my website, goingsolooutdoors.com. And yeah, you can make it yourself. Quite a few flying insects. It's so mild out. The low's only going to be 10 degrees, but the daytime temps were almost 15, so super warm. Just going ahead and putting the ridge light up. Just clip it to the little loops here at the end. It's like two little carabiners. I may use that bug net after all. I'm pulling all kinds of stuff out of here. Such a cozy setup, and you can dim it. that was unfortunate. I just put the tarp back on because it was sprinkling just a little bit. I'm probably going to roll it up, but keep it attached just in case I need to throw it over in the middle of the night. Oh yeah. This is so crazy comfortable. Love it. Alright guys, I think I'm just going to go ahead and turn off the light and maybe just read a little bit in bed and get to sleep. I'll catch you guys in the morning. Good night. Good morning. What a fantastic spot. I could see the glow of the water in the sky the entire night. It was amazing. I just kept the tarp right here just in case I could throw it over if it started sprinkling. But fortunately it didn't, which was nice. In any case, it's just after 7 a.m. Sunrise is getting later and later, but I do need to go ahead and start getting up. So I'm gonna get up, make a coffee. Ooh. Got a bit chilly. I ran out of my other coffee bags again. So, stuck with this. Cheers, guys. Not a bad spot for your morning coffee. This ridge light's pretty cool. It lights up the entire space and even provides enough light for camp. It's a lot stronger than my normal light that I use in the tents, and it runs off the same pump that I use to blow up the pad and the packraft. I'm really happy. I used the bug net last night. When I was flying the drone, I felt something crawling on my leg. Lift up my pant leg and it's a big tick. So they're definitely not done with us yet. So very happy I used the bug net. One of my favorite things about hammock camping is you don't have to dry out any of your gear when you get home. Everything's dry. It probably only sprinkled 5 or 10 minutes yesterday, but the winds dried the tarp off, so it's good to go. Really like the strap system. This is actually from Warbonnet, the same company that makes my other hammock. It's a lot easier and it's longer too, which is nice. Alright, now time to pack away my gear explosion. Definitely a lot easier packing everything away. Alright guys, time to get back onto the water. So one last look at camp. So that's where, between that tree and that tree, is where I had the hammock. This is where I put my boat and gear, where I did all my cooking. Such a nice little moss table right there. And that was the view I had from bed. Absolutely amazing. Such a cool spot. Really happy with this campsite and all these beautiful colors everywhere. All right, let's get back onto the water. Had the cold air last night. Kind of softened her a little bit, so get a tiny bit more air. All right guys, as you can see, the boat's all ready. I think I'm going to do something a little bit different on this one. Usually I take you all the way back on the trek with me, but I just kind of want to enjoy this paddle. I'm going to be paddling all the way down to the end and kind of skipping the hike. So I just want to enjoy the silence and being on the water. I think I'm going to go ahead and sign out here. I may show you a little bit of the journey back, but you've seen me break the boat down before. So I'm not going to show that again on camera. If you haven't, just check out one of my other videos where I've done a pack rafting trip. Highly recommend the 60K Scotland pack rafting trip in the mountains. That was an absolutely incredible trip. I'll actually link the first video for that up here. So I actually have 2 new hot tents coming to me which I am extremely excited about. Both unique in their own ways, both relatively cheap too, which is pretty awesome. So for my next camp, if I get a cold day, I'll be in one of the hot tents. If not, I'll probably be back in the mountains. So hopefully you enjoyed the trip. If you have any questions or comments, just leave them down below and I'll catch you on the next one. Please like, share, get outside. Later. So great.